Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Dirt is everywhere. Filthy germs are everywhere. Death is everywhere. It's time to sanitize everything, including yourself. Make your life safe again with Pontius Advanced Hand Sanitizer. During the day, you are exposed to literally millions of life-threatening germs and viruses. Use Pontius Advanced Hand Sanitizer several times an hour and protect yourself and your loved ones. It's not neuroses, it's good hygiene. Pontius is so hard on germs, it burns off the top layer of your skin, leaving you clean and fresh. And it's so strong, it will one day create a drug-resistant superbacteria that will wipe out half of mankind. Pontius, it's time to sanitize everything.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you to a very, very fun episode of Third Shift. It is episode 431, and it is the last time we're going to talk to you really before Christmas happens. So, you know what? It's a good week. We got to do the Game Awards. We got to have lots of fun. We played a lot of video games. We're coming up on Christmas, so there's all sorts of, thank yous and this and that. Maybe we might do. Who knows? But before we do any of that, of course, today, I'm not the only one here, because I'm never the only one here, except for once in a very, very blue moon. I got Mr. Matt here with me. But before I introduce the inglorious bastard himself, we got a special guest today. Matt doesn't even know. All right? This is a special guest, and I want to introduce him. He's a good friend of mine, been around a long time, does a lot of hard work for everybody out there in the community, for sure. And without further ado, of course, let me introduce my new guest, Mr. Bartles.
Hey everybody, it's me, Mr. Bottles. I'm a friend of Eric, and, he invited me on the show, and, I'm an old friend. We go a long way back, and, I asked him this last week. I was working real hard, okay, and if you don't know, I'm actually an elf from the North Pole, and I help make gifts for all the boys and girls, Matt, and Matt, Eric talks about you quite a bit. You're a good guy, and nice to meet you, and, I hope maybe someday we can be friends too. It might take a while, but we'll get there. And I know Santa tells me you don't believe anymore, but that's okay. We'll get you on board, all right? Now, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not here for that. Now Eric came to me and we was having ourselves a nice proper meal at the North Pole, and he says, hey, how's everything been going? And I said, well, and I said, hey, Christmas is right around the corner, Eric. What is it you want for Christmas? What's Santa gonna bring you in? And he tells me, he says, there's nothing I want, Santa, than a wonderful 5-star review for our show, Third Shift, and I said, he says, that'll be a great gift for me and Matt, and that's all we want. That's all we want. Well, he can't speak for Matt, but he said that anyway. I don't know why. But anyways, it doesn't matter. And I said, well, I'd ask the big Mr. Claus himself, but, I don't think he's got the power to give 5-star reviews. I don't think he meddles in that stuff. And we're ourselves, we're not allowed to really talk to him that much. So I couldn't really say yes and no for sure. Miss Claus is our only access really to him. And she don't like elves. She treats us like children. She says we should be seen and not heard. So that's neither here nor there. So I was just really, really, really saddened that I can't give Eric his gift. But I said I could help any way I can. And I said I'll do something for you. And so Eric, he asked if I'd come on the show. If I just come on the show and plead to everybody that these two men deserve your 5-star reviews. I'm telling you, they really do. They do. They work so hard. They make the show for you. They do all sorts of fun shenanigans and have such a great time. And I just want to speak on behest of all the elves, because we listen to the show. We really love it. And you know what? If I could say, I'd say Santa Claus does too. I don't even care. I'll just speak for him. I bet he does. And if he's listening and you ain't giving the 5-star reviews, well, I'll tell you what, we'll make your toys half-assed, okay? That's what we're going to do for you this Christmas. You ain't going to get great toys. They're going to be half broken, and you're going to have to return them to stores and stuff. And Santa, I don't know what Santa will do. He might poop on your tree. I don't know what Santa's up to while he's out there, but I'm just saying, These guys really worked hard, and they deserve a 5-star review from you. And if you want to give them a bright Christmas, that's what you need to do. You got to get out there and you got to give them those 5-star reviews, and you got to do your part for Third Shift. Okay, that's all I got to say. I'm getting fired up here. My friend Eric, he's worked real hard. He's a great guy, and he does great things for Third Shift. And I really hope you just consider doing this for him. Okay, Merry Christmas to all a good night. I gotta go back and make gifts because we technically work 365 days a year. We don't get a lot of breaks here. There's some people try to say like the day of Christmas we get off, but that's not true. Mr. Claus makes us clean the house, and that's neither here nor there. Merry Christmas, everybody. I'll see you later. Back to you, Eric.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on and just pleading with the listeners to help out Third Shift this Christmas, this New Year's, to really just pump us up and make us feel great. I hope all of you consider giving us that 5-star review. I told you earlier, podcasts before, I'm just going to go crazy and do what I want. I could, at the top of the show, you don't even get to listen to this episode until I've done the spiel. This is what I get to do this month, and I did it. And, thank you for our wonderful guest this time around. You got it right from the horse's mouth. You got to do what you got to do. You better do it, or else you never know what kind of shape your toys are going to be in this year. All right? And with that being said, the Inglorious Bastard himself, he's here. He's Mr. Matt. I had to get it in quick because, as you heard, the elves are busy. They got a lot to do. It's kind of a rushed job. But, Matt, I'm glad you were okay with this happening. I'm glad you didn't freak out. Appreciate it. Of course, welcome to the show. How's your week? What you been up to? What's going on here?
So it's funny. You probably noticed I was looking off to the right here because for the first time, I think it was in summer that Mom and I went up to Bronner's and got some ornaments and stuff. And I bought this Santa ornament, and he's got like a little parachute, and up above is like a big spring. So I hung him up over here for the first time ever. And so he's kind of like, hey, I'm parachuting in. But while you're talking about like Santa being stingy and working his guys, and he kind of looks like he's like strung up. I'm like, yeah, string you up, Santa, if you don't give me a 5-star review. I'm going to string up all the listeners too if they don't do it.
That's right.
And I tried to make our dreams come true because I went on there, and it happens every time. I go on the podcast app and I go to Third Shift to see if there's a new review, and it has like 5 blank stars. And I go, there's no way I haven't left a 5-star review already. Boop, hit it. It goes, thanks for the rating. Backed out and went back in. And I did it again, and numbers didn't change. It knows I already did it. I went over to Spotify and I tried to do it. And that's another topic of conversation for later in the show, but I'll bring it up right now. My end spiel. Catch us on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. Apparently Stitcher went away in like 2022, and I didn't know that.
Well, bye, Stitcher.
For all this time, it's been gone. It went to like Sirius XM podcast, but that's not a thing you can get on. So now that I remember that, I'm going to get all flustered, not going to know what to do for the end spiel. I'm so mad. Why'd you have to leave, Stitcher? We had such a big following on Stitcher, I'm sure, and now it's gone. And Stitcher's gone.
But I'm positive by the end of this episode, we'll have us a 5-star review. It's going to happen. The people know. It's got to be. The elf just came and talked to you. By the end of this show, we'll have a 5-star review to start off our wonderful week into Christmas.
Here's what you do. I know what you do. I figured it out. I've solved the problem, and I can guarantee that will happen. Is you text your wife back and you say, "Hey, you remember that thing you're asking me about? I'll tell you once you've proven that you've left a 5-star review. Leave a 5-star review with the text of the restaurant or the business whose charge on my credit card you're asking about, and then I'll know you did that, and then we can have another 5-star review. That's what you do. Sorry to pull back the curtain, but that's the perfect thing. What is this? Huh? Leave a 5-star review, and I'll tell you.
God damn it. You're in trouble.
Well, we will for sure know by the end of the show.
But it was a good week. It feels like a strange week. Like the things I went to seemed like they were ages ago, but I went to a show on Game Awards night. Mariachi Herencia de Mexico was at the Wharton Center. Went there, a fantastic show. And you think of mariachi music, I mean, everybody knows it, but they did it bigger style. Like they had 3 horns and they had 6 violin guys. Then they had the guitarist and like the big guitar, like the big old fatty. And then they had this harp dude in the back. And I don't know, like they said he was from this town, which is where like the Mexican harp tradition comes from. And I didn't know that was a thing. But that dude was jamming on this harp. Like, it was nuts. It was great. I went, whoa, he had like 2 big harp solos. I went, I've never seen anything like this in my life. All the violin dudes were really awesome. They had like 4 or 5 dudes of that whole group who would come up and sing. And, I don't listen to mariachi music like in the car or anything, but it's impressive. It's big, long, sustained notes. It's big, powerful, emotional songs. And it was just a fun time. And like the whole crowd was all like Hispanic heritage people. Mostly you could hear, they'd talk about a certain mariachi singer from back in the day, and everyone would go, oh yeah, it's time for whatever the guy's name was. And it was just a fun night. Big and loud and wonderful and colorful and just a lot of fun. Then a couple days after that, it was on the weekend, Sunday, I believe. Went out to Wharton Center again for Lansing Symphony Orchestra's Holiday Pops concert. And man, this one was so good and so cool. Because, Lansing Symphony Orchestra Holiday Pops, they usually play symphonic versions of a bunch of holiday songs. Occasionally they'll have, like, I think once they had a kids choir, once they had a high school choir in the back to do some, not caroling, but like the impressive, the big ones, rah, da, 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 choir style. This time, they start out with regular orchestra, symphony stuff. Very cool. Fun, lots of fun. Then they went, hey, we'll bring out people to sing some arias from this, I think it was from Handel's Messiah. I think it was. Different pieces from there. So 2 people came out and sang like opera style. It was traditional, like religious type of songs. And I always say it, no matter what you think about opera, like I don't listen to opera in the car or anything. I'm not a big opera head. But when you see that and hear that live in front of your face, it's crazy. It's impressive. It's just like blow your hair back. Wow, cool. So I was like, man, that's awesome. And then they had an intermission. I went, man, how are they going to top that? That was really cool. Well, they came out in the second half and they had a family, I think it was the Singleton family, the Singletons, and it was like an R&B whole family, 3 ladies, 3 dudes. And they sang like kind of R&B style Christmas music while they played in the back. And they had a bassist, they had a drummer, they had piano guys. So it was more up tempo. And I went, this is cool. Hell yeah. You got like traditional and then you got like modern. Then they brought in this giant choir. And it was like, it turned into like the second half of the second act here was like full on black church gospel, rocking, going at it. The singers were phenomenal. Just like, top of the charts. The whole choir was like grooving and clapping their hands, and we were all getting out of our seats and dancing around. I went, God, this is wild. This is so great. And I had that moment, and I thought, man, this is what like church would be every Sunday. I'd be going all the time. What a wonderful time. It was grooving and awesome, and everybody, the symphony orchestra plays great. The choir was great. The singers, like the soloists, were amazing. Woo! It was phenomenal. What a great outing. That's all I did in real life this week. In the video game front this week, I played a little bit more of Slay the Princess. Did that just last night. Eric knows that because I said I was going to. I found another thing that I hadn't seen before, and I wasn't expecting it to be there, and something started happening, and I went, what? What's going on now? What? Whoa, what's going on here? Oh, whoa, what's going on? Oh, a whole new thing. Wonderful. Love that game. That game's great. Another game that's great that I played and I beat was Ease 10 Nordics. I played it, I got to an ending, and I went, God, wonderful. What a great time. Just a phenomenal time. I love that. I went, how close am I to the platinum though? Oh, I'm actually pretty close. If I go and reload that save right before the last boss and I run around for like an hour or two, I can do some skill related stuff. I can go do some extra side quests. I can upgrade this gear. Boom, boom, trophy. Beat it again. And by doing the extra side stuff, which like I didn't realize how to give gifts to characters. There's certain gifts you can get and that, increases your affinity with them. I didn't know how to do that. Figured out how to do that. It changes their stories and their endings. Not like in a major way, but just enough. And I'm like, oh, dude, he's staying in town now. Hell yeah. Awesome. It was so good. I have 1 trophy to go for the actual platinum. I am like 2 hours away from it. You had to do a second playthrough on hard mode, on nightmare mode, actually. And okay, I'll try and wrap it up and make it quick. But that's awesome. And it irritates me because New Game Plus, you don't get to carry over your maximum weapons and armor. And I went, all my weapons and armor are gone. Sad. But you carry over your levels and your skills and your everything else. And the enemies, they start out at like level 1, but Nightmare difficulty. So I'm going through as level 92, so I'm still killing everything in one hit for about half the game. So I was sad, but then I was like, oh, I don't even need my max stuff because, and it's just fun. It's just great. I love the game. I love the characters. And one last thing to say about it. I was on Blue Sky today and I made a feed. It's video game news. I went, okay, what's the news today? And Geimatsu, they're on that feed. And they said, hey guys, just today, Ease 10 Proud Nordics was announced with all kinds of add-ons and doodly-doos and hippity-hoos and a new island and new story stuff. And I went, what? And I got angry for an instant because I went, I am 2 hours away from platinuming this damn game and another one's coming. And then I realized I love this game so much. It makes me so happy. Doing the farming and the extra stuff for the side content and seeing the characters again made me smile. See the ending again made me smile with a tear in my eye. Playing through it a second time made me smile all over again at all these little scenes and all the fun interactions with the characters. I'm going to be proud to play that again whenever that comes to the West. They didn't say it was like, dropping right away, but
Yeah, it was only Japan. And I was like, oh, come on, man.
yeah, Japan only for now. But I was like, man, I love that game. So if I get like a reload style or even just like a little bit of extra stuff, I'll be glad to play it again. So I completely turned the corner. I'm just like, man, even more Ease 10 greatness. Hooray for me. Hooray for this week. Hooray for you, Eric, as you tell me about your week.
Well, here we go. Let me tell you, real life world, not a ton. However, on the weekend, we went to my daughter's first of 3 or 4 robotics competitions. So they took their bots that they designed with their fellow students and they went and competed with all the other students of the lands. And then they warred with one another, lifting up things and throwing balls into holes and da-da-da, this and that, getting passing scores. It was a whole spiel. We sat on these little wonderful benches and we watched and cheered them on. And then we watched as they went through. Neither daughter ended up winning. So, alas, we were sad. But hopefully they take what they learned from this last competition, take the robots back to the wonderful escapades and improve them and make them more viable for the next competition. Matt's so sad. Why are you so sad, Matt?
This is bullshit, Eric. We didn't have no robot classes when I was in high school.
They're not even in high school. They're in middle school and upper.
They didn't have no
elementary.
video game design classes, robot classes, any of this cool stuff. They just had gym and like double gym
and home
Spanish.
economics and
there you go. Yeah, home ec, gym, and Spanish.
What was the other one where we learned how to read the Tao is up, the Tao is down, and
I didn't have that.
Oh,
you got some fancy sexton stuff. Jesus Christ.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, they got a lot of cool stuff these days. So we were there watching all the kids compete with their robots, and it's actually a lot of fun. But I do get frustrated, and I won't spend a long time on this, but I will just say I get frustrated because I'll see some robots that are crazy awesome, like beyond cool. And I'm like, your stupid kid didn't make that. Your stupid kids did not make that. Because here's how I know. My kids are intelligent. They're not stupid by any stretch of the imagination. And they didn't make that robot. They didn't even get close to what that robot is. That robot is doing the stuff that I wouldn't even understand or be able to create. Adults are not supposed to interfere at all, period, point blank in this. The teachers, none of them. They're only there to provide the parts and pieces and to show you, if you ask, what this proponent does, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. They cannot give you ideas. They're not supposed to show you how to build anything more intricate than what you decide or can think of in your own mind. But it's so clear, Matt, when you go to these things, that some of these robots are doing insane stuff. And it's so cool to see. Don't get me wrong. I'm like, that is crazy. But I'm like, your teacher did that. You just put it together and the teacher showed you what to do. Okay. Yes, you're going to win because your 47-year-old robotics teacher who's got a PhD in bioengineering, technoengineering, et cetera, just did this for you. That's great, and I like seeing your robot do this crazy cool stuff, but come on. This is some bullshit.
I don't know. I mean, Howard says his kids are pretty bright, and they make robots all the time, so maybe it's just, Howard Jr. and Ricky, whatever his other kid. Maybe that's, it's just like Howard kids are making these awesome robots. That's
I'd believe it of like the maybe the late middle schoolers. You could get me to believe it.
Yeah.
But for these upper elementary kids, No. It's not happening.
No.
You're full.
You can't even knock a block over
Yeah.
with it. Come on.
Come on. Give me a break. So still a great time. Any which way you're serving it. It was fun. Oh, and that was pretty much it in the real world life besides your normal humdrum. I did play a few games this last week. I played a little bit of Space Marine, Warhammer Space Marine. Had a good time with it. Still intend to keep playing it. Just having fun. It's not like, oh my God, this is the best game of the year. Nothing crazy. But I enjoy it. It's a good, let me kill an hour at a time without thinking, without really paying any close attention. And just loving the jargon, like I already said, and just having fun with the whole, meta of it. And then I played Path of Exile 2. My brother-in-law got a hold of me. He really wanted to get into this game. I said, sure, I'll do it. And let me tell you, this game is pretty damn good. It's really good, but it's way harder than Diablo. And I'm already getting to points where I'm going over boss fights several times to try to beat them and figuring things out. And every time you're in a zone, you don't get to just zone out. You got to sit there and focus, because if you get attacked by more than a few enemies at any given time, there is a chance you'll die if you're not paying attention, which is nothing like Diablo. Diablo is I'm putting a podcast up, I got an anime going, and I'm just going and spamming all my things and across the screen, and everybody's having a great time. Not this game. This game's like, no, you're going to pay attention, you're going to go through your rotations, you're going to avoid stuff, you're going to do your combat rolls, etc., or you will die. So I like it. I really do. But unfortunately, I'm at the point right now where I can't play anything except for like on the weekends. Every night, not having a chance to play. Meanwhile, my brother-in-law, I see him on like constantly. He's probably already almost finished with the pre-release, and it's going to be like it is every time. Hey, well, how you doing? Oh, yeah, I'm already meted out. I got this, and this. Want to play? Ooh, well, I was going to go farm Xavier, boss. I really needed the golden armor of Cambodia. And, yeah, all right, well, that's cool. I'll keep plugging away. I'll meet you at the end of the game, though. Then he falls off, and then I just fall out, and I'll probably never get there. The story has been written several times before, but I do enjoy the game, and I'm having a good time, so whatever. I don't care.
I did have to laugh when I saw, Mahaga has played Path of Exile 2 for the first time. And I wanted to message you, be like, hey, what's all this about? Like, that game's too crazy. The skill tree is too big. It's too nuts. It's too blah, blah, blah. But hey, if you're having a good time, who cares? Who cares about any of that stuff? Even ball breaking.
And I still,
as long as you're having fun.
The skill tree is stupid. And then I got too many people going, it's actually really easy. If you want to go fire, look for the fire. And I'm like, okay, all right, maybe I'm stupid. Well, I wanted to go, I'm going bone route, not element, not bringing for, I'm a necro basically, but I want to go the bone path instead of raising up all the skeletons and stuff. There's no bone. I looked for the bone shape on this entire skill tree. There's no bone shape. It took me almost an hour to find this tiny little nook that has skills that improve, the bones themselves, etc., through physical damage and stuff. I shouldn't have to look for something for like an hour just to find this little nook that I got to find my way into to, improve those skills and keep rocking and rolling with this damn thing. Give me a break. It is obnoxious and ridiculous. We got to stop with this crazy ass skill tree stuff. All right.
I just love so many times. I want to go down the bone route. I want to walk the path of the bone. I want to walk the bone path. That's Michigan Avenue on a 2 a.m. Go walk down the bone route. Come on now.
It's so true. It's so true. But yeah, enjoyable. Having a good time. I'll talk about it more when I actually get somewhere where I think it's relevant to talk about. I'm still pretty early on. And last but not least, I played some Astrobot this week because I was pissed off about the Game Awards. And I said, I guess I'm wrong. I guess I need to play this game a lot more and figure this game out. So I went there and did a few more, the little micro worlds in the world 1. And still fun, still good, but haven't got far enough to where I'm going to give a nay, yay, or anything like that on it. Enjoyable. So, yeah, it's been kind of a meh kind of week, but I've just been busy. Been doing a lot of stuff, but it wasn't a meh week in general. It was just a meh week in my gaming excursions. The rest of it was pretty good. The Game Awards were fantastic. We're going to talk about it, and it was exciting and fun, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. That's what I've been up to, Matt.
And a quick touch for me on Astrobot. I was going to get in and play some more for the exact, well, not because I was mad about it, but for the same reasons we talked about. But I think it was either you can play that, or you can actually start working on that second playthrough Ease Nordics, which you won't finish if you get caught into something else. And I went, okay, dummy, just finish this off. You're getting there anyway. So I would have been there and we could talk more about it, but we can't. Instead, I can talk about a game that's, gosh, it's right up old Matt's alley. Talking about a precision platformer. Well, maybe that's not the up the alley part. It's called Symphonia, which dropped a couple weeks ago now on the 5th, developed by Sunny Peak, published by Head Up and Beep Japan for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. And the reason this is right up my alley is because Symphonia takes place in a fantasy world that's all about symphonic music. Music is the entire world. The whole world is based around music. The grand cities have been created by the orchestral. I don't know if it's a full orchestra or that's a machine or whatever. And now the music stopped, which has brought you to life. You are a magical violinist person, and you got to go through the world and build up another orchestra to bring music and life back to the world. And it's a mostly wordless story, and it's got like really beautiful 2D art, 2D animations and everything. But all the music, it's all symphonic. It's all orchestral. It's all beautiful. And, you know, I figured I'm not going to watch too much of it, but I watched a couple reviews, and in between them, you know, cutting out and saying, hey, the music's really great. Blah, here's like 15 seconds of music. It's great. It's symphonic. It's orchestral. It's beautiful strings and winds and all the good stuff. And on top of that, the art looks really good. It's maybe not like the best hand-drawn animations you've ever seen, but it's pretty darn good as you're going through this world. And like I said, it's all precision-y and platformy. So if you see some gameplay of it, you're going to see lots of spikes everywhere and like lots of grappling hook structures and things you can jump and then air dash over to. People comparing it to Celeste, I don't think it's even close to that hard, but you get the kind of idea. You're jumping and swinging between platforms and double dashing and using your bow to like grapple hook onto certain grapply hooky points. And it just looks like a lot of fun. And I mean, just regardless of anything else, you put a beautiful orchestral soundtrack in a game, especially a smaller scale game like this, I'm interested. I think it's only $20 on Steam right now. If you want some precision platforming with a unique spin, because like I said, not a lot of characters talking and jaw-jacking or anything. You play your violin to, I don't think there are musical battles, but there's like duet scenes, and you play it to access puzzles, open doors, activate switches, that kind of thing. Inside the worlds, there's hidden notes and hidden, you know, musical scrolls and things you can pick up. If you want just a musical-themed precision platformer, check out Symphonia. If you want something a little bit different, check it out too. I'll probably check it out somewhere down the line just because, man, listening to that music, it kind of put me in a Braid feeling. Like Braid it wasn't traditional like symphonic or anything, but it had that like classical feel while you're doing bumping and jumping. And this looks like a lot of fun. So I'm going to check it out. You should check it out. Symphonia, baby. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
You can do that if you want to be, you know, just calm, cool, having a good time, or you can go have a really terrible, scary time in this particular game because Alien Rogue Incursion has finally come out December 19th, developed, published by Surveos. It comes out to the Steam VR unit and, of course, the PlayStation VR 2 unit for you to have a whole bunch of fun in. And let me tell you, this is another one I have to get a hold of because I went and watched all sorts of gameplay for this, and it looks awesome. Looks like so much fun. You are an Marine, Zula Hendricks, and you're with your robot companion. You're on a mission to this crazy, just abandoned planet to save some scientist or another. You know the story. Well, upon getting in on there, all of a sudden missiles come rocketing out, ships crashing down, they crash land, they get out, they're like, why the hell are they shooting at us? What is going on? And then you go into the space station to try to figure out, well, obviously your mission, where the scientist is, but also why the hell did they shoot at you? What's going on? And on top of it all, you got to figure out where the parts are, etc., to fix your ship and get the hell out of here. So you got a lot to do, a lot on your plate. But upon getting in there, guess what, everybody? Well, those damn xenomorphs, they're there. Yeah, I know, it's a surprise, but they are, and they come out. And they come out in herds, they come out solo, they come out in different variations. They've got AI driving them that's intelligent, that knows how to hide, jump, juke, jive, sneak up on you, all sorts of fun stuff. At least that's what's claimed. And from what I looked, when I was watching playthrough, it looks like that's, upholding what it's talking about. I don't think it's to the alien isolation, alien, super powerful, hiding everywhere, always on your tail like that. But these xenomorphs are always coming at you, and they don't just run at you and die when you're shooting them. They're hiding in the culverts. They're getting behind stuff. They're trying to sneak up on you, and it's a whole thing. And you're doing it in VR, so it's 10 times more terrifying. It's dark. You can't see well. They've got the lighting going, the strobe lights of lights flickering. They've got the sparks coming off broken machinery. They've got the logs of the dead, scientists and individuals all telling you these dark tales of what they were up to and what they were doing and why the xenomorphs are out and run the wild. It is your typical fun, awesome tromp with the xenomorphs in the alien universe. And you're doing it in VR, which is crazy terrifying. And they went nuts, man, with the cocking the guns and handling everything. You do it all. So you get this revolver, and you got to actually bang, 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 and then you got to open it up, and then you got to cock it back and drop all the used load out, and then you got to sit there with your hands and push in all the rounds, and then spin it again, and now it's ready to go. So, and then of course if it's your submachine gun or machine gun, you're doing the same thing. You're clicking the button, pulling out the old magazine, popping in a new magazine, cocking it, and back to action you go. You get to carry around your cool little xenomorph, where are they little device, but you can throw it down. You can set it beside you while you're working on a computer trying to figure something out and kind of keep an eye on it as you're working, because the xenomorphs don't stop. It's not like when you go into a menu or a computer screen to try to solve a puzzle that it all just goes away until you're out. It's persistent. So anytime, any place, anything you're doing, these xenomorphs can come at you. So you got to, learn to use what you got to take care of things, all in this VR environment that just enhances it, makes it 10 times crazier than it would be if you're just playing in the game. I can't wait to check this out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm probably going to play for like 3 minutes. My girls will yell and scream at me to take it off when they want to play their game. And that'll probably be it. But it'll be a great 3 minutes. I can't wait.
I'm just having so many flashbacks as you're talking. Not even related to the game, but you're talking about the revolver and loading it up and then going chick, like snapping the cylinder closed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking of that time we went to Brandy's house and he had the Nerf revolver. It was like, check it out, do it. Everyone was like, oh, hell yeah. Shooting each other. And it was great. And then I'm having flashbacks because you're talking about logs of the dead people and the scientists and finding man, I feel like that happened to us. Like we were on the SS Third Shift out in space, and
it did.
Maybe something bad happened, and I was trying to look it up, but I couldn't go back far enough until the bit was over. It was either a shifter multi-topic or a what you playing. I can't remember, but that happened to us.
That timeline's gone. I wonder what happened to those guys.
Oh man! So that's looking back into the past, but you can look forward into the future for free games. Some phenomenal free games. I'm going to start off like I usually do, with the Game Pass game, and that's For the King 2. I have no idea what this is about, but I looked it up while Eric was talking. Battle against Farul's tyrannical queen alone or as a party of 4 players in the sequel for the King, the massively popular turn-based, roguelite, tabletop RPG. And there's a screenshot here of hex-based movement with ships and soldiers and stuff, and I went, God, whoa, that looks cool. I've never heard of that before, but that looks pretty damn neat. And another game that's pretty damn neat. I'm stealing Eric's Epic Games Store reveal from him because it's Vampire Survivors, a game I have played so much of. And if you look at it, you think that's just dumb. But once you get into it, it is so much fun. It's so addictive. It's so wild and cool and crazy and goes so nuts. And it's free for you. The game itself is already only like $5, but now it's for free. Nobody has any excuse. Everybody's got to get in.
It was really cool to see Epic throw this one out there. I think I already own it, but you know what? I probably don't own it on Epic, so now I do. Merry Christmas to me. I get to have Vampire Survivors and go play it at my leisure. Hopefully you will all too. And Amazon Free Prime Games, they gave us some stuff too. They got in the spirit a little bit from the looks of it. They gave us Simulacros. I have no idea what that is. I hope somebody does. Ace of the Luftwaffe. I don't know what that is either, but that sounds absolutely fun and fantastical. Probably a flying game, yeah, man. Aces, because aces are in the sky. Yeah, I get you. Okay.
Luftwaffe is the Nazi Air Force. So yes, World War II, flying and shooting.
You're gonna fly, yeah. You're a bunch of Nazis flying in the sky, killing Americans and stuff.
I think that's probably not right. Never mind. I knew as soon as I said it. I knew as soon as I said it, it was gonna come off so bad.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, and the last one is the Christmas Fables of the Magic Snowflake. Well, come on.
Hope alert!
Hope alert! This is the one. You're going to be looking for those little snowmen. Where are they hiding? You're going to be looking for the elves on the shelves. You're going to be looking for all sorts of fun stuff. Get this game. Have yourself a Christmassy time or a holiday time, whatever the hell you want to call it, because they're out there for free for you right now.
And speaking of right now is the time. Even though you've heard it on every podcast you listened to last weekend, you heard it on the podcast you listened to that drop on Monday, the ones on Tuesday, the ones on Wednesdays. It's time for us to talk about the Game Awards, the reveals, the nominations, the speeches, the puppets, the Muppets, Statler and Waldorf. I'm just going to start out by saying when the Muppets first showed up, it was kind of a little corny, a little dorky, but it's a nice nostalgic thing. I love the Statler and Waldorf integration through here. It's just like busting Jeff Keighley's chops all the time. Obviously, I'm not the biggest fan of him, even though he does this great thing. I find him kind of annoying. So to see him get his chops busted, but he sells it with a smile on his face anyway, it's good, harmless fun, and it made me chuckle.
Yeah, no, this one was the best. The Muppets appearances have been okay, no biggie. I don't mind them, but nothing that's blowing my socks off. But this time around, they were in it. They were jabbing and jibing and making all sorts of fun jokes at the expense of Jeff and at the expense of Kojima in some case and this and that. And it was all pertinent to like what's real and what's happening and what people have said and joked about over the years. They did a fantastic job. And of course, going off of that, I just want to say overall, I think this Game Awards was sharp, was really, really good. I felt engaged pretty much the entire time. I always was wondering what was around the corner. There was no big giant lull for me. I found something I enjoyed pretty much every other game or, in that realm anyway. Even with the pre-show, I think I was engaged and interested, through most of it.
Yeah, I think they did a great job pacing it. I mean, not only did you not have like one 15-minute long thank you speech from the guy who, says boy a lot, but like even the ad breaks, like the little ads they would do, it wasn't like it was a few years ago where we're like, hey, let's go back to Sydney Goodman. And she go, hey guys, do you like eating food? Because if you like eating food, and then be like a 5-minute McDonald's ad read. Everything was short. It was to the point. On to the next thing. Show the next thing. Here's the next award. Here's a new performance. Here's a special guest. Here's a this. They did a great job with it. I really loved it.
And the only overall thought I have on the negative side was I really thought that the Game Awards portion, like giving out awards, some of them were done fantastically, but overall, like I didn't even know who won half the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was so fast. I'd be over here like just kind of peeking at something else, and then you'd hear Jeff in the background, and the winner was, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what did you just say? And it was off to a new review or reveal or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even catch who won that. And it was like pew 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 pew, like shots were just fired off. And I'm like, I understand here, everybody's here for the reveals, but some of them I think were just a little too quick. Like I'm like, I know we don't got to spend a ton of time, especially on like esports stuff. I get it, but like for example, the Faker one. When are you going to bring this man on? This dude wins always and constantly. Get him in here. Get the devs from League of Legends in here. They win every year. No doubt. Never going to be a non-win. They win. Get it finally. Bring them in and let them talk and have a moment because they're going to win forever. They're just going to win for eternity. You might as well let them come on and talk about it.
I 100% agree, obviously, because I'm a big Faker fan and everything. And I feel like maybe like 5 years ago, they at least had the esports players in the crowd. It wasn't all of them, but they had a few. Because I remember there were like Call of Duty players. And I went, who the hell's that guy? But I said it last year, I think. It kind of goes doubly this year. I kind of wish they'd split the awards and the reveals into their own thing. Like make the reveals be after the actual awards or something. Make the awards go earlier and have it be a smaller, more intimate. Like here's just the devs and their friends and family. And do that. And then you can just have just a big blast and show throughout the rest of it. Because I like the awards. I like seeing people win. And it, like you said, it does kind of just suck to have Sydney Goodman read off 3 awards in a row or Jeff read off 3 in a row. Some of the pre-show ones were good because they at least got to come up and talk with her for like 30 to 60 seconds. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of a bummer when you just, oh yeah, they won. Oh yeah, they won. Oh yeah, they won. Okay.
Yeah. And the last I'll say on that, my solution to the problem would be this. For all your big ones, keep doing what you're doing. Allow them to come on, give all their, their awards and stuff. But for those small ones, you kind of want to get through. At least let them walk on and say all you can say is thank you, everybody, and you walk off. And I know that sounds kind of mean, but but at least they're getting to walk on stage. You present them the award. They go, thank you, everyone. We appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thank you. And they walk off. That's only an extra 15, 25 seconds. It's not that huge of a deal. And I think it could still be, within a parameter that Jeff wants to keep.
Or you do it like, there's all the technical Oscars and everything. They have their own smaller, I don't even think it's filmed usually. Maybe it's streamed somewhere. They have a smaller award show for that. So beforehand, have all the esports stuff, have the whatever. And, if you want to tune in, like I would, have that be like the secondary pre-show stream. Okay, hey, here's the technical awards. It's at the ballroom of the stage. It's not like on the big stage.
Yeah.
And, it's a smaller, tight-knit thing. And, hey, everybody, come on down if you want to. If you don't, we'll accept it on your behalf, whatever.
And the main show is your big 5 one, your big 5
absolutely.
or 6, whatever it is.
Whoever's got a big reveal to talk about after their win, something like that, somebody associated with it. Yeah, tie it in, make it big.
Yeah, that would be perfect to me because he's nailed the reveal stuff at this point. Like, he's getting all the big names. He's getting all sorts of really cool stuff. And I know he pulled out all the stops for the 10th anniversary, which was this year. But I hope this momentum stays, and I hope all the companies and publishers, developers, etc., are on board going forward. And we see this every year to the extent it can be. Obviously, not every year is going to be the same kind of hit, depending on what's going to be coming out and released. We saw a lot of really cool stuff.
So we did see a lot of cool stuff, and the thing that I thought was the coolest was that I won again. Now, if you look at the tally,
I think Matt's
that was
cheating. All right, you know what? I wasn't going to say it.
No,
this man,
he's
like 3 points for the game. I'm like, when did we do this? What's going on?
That's always been the case. I don't know why you got to come on here and make up some kind of story with special rules to say that you won, like just to make yourself look good in front of the audience. Like, who would do that? What kind of person would do that? Why would you do that?
What kind of person would do that?
What kind of person would do that?
I love the story changes however Matt wants it to change. And I want to say I won on 2 fronts, folks. First off, I did win. Matt's a liar. He made up things to try to get him to win.
That's wrong. You're wrong.
It's not wrong.
You forgot.
So props to me. I finally win after all the years.
No.
I take it home.
No.
Yes. Don't lie, Matt. Don't be a liar to the people listening.
I can't lie to the people.
You
That's
made
the
up
truth.
an extra
That's the truth.
shtick so you could take home the win.
I would never do that.
He would he would never do that. Okay. Well, I also win on a second front. And it's so funny because I didn't even know I won until Matt was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? I said Capcom's going to bring Onimusha to this damn stage.
That's true.
And God bless they did. But for whatever reason, I had to go upstairs real quick at one point in this damn show. My wife came home. And I come back and I texted Matt. I said, where's Onimusha? Because, I felt it in my bones, people. I'm telling you. I don't know why. I just did. And then Matt goes, what do you mean, man? There's an Onimusha trailer. And I went, no way. So immediately I'm like looking and I go, yes. Yes, I feel so good. What a good prediction. I felt great about it. Oh, good props to me.
That is good.
Good.
And I do like it. I'm happy for you. But just like me getting bonus points for picking Game of the Year, as we decided this year, as we have established, those were the rules.
We did. Stop saying these
I feel I have to negate your points because you didn't even see the reveal that you predicted.
I can't help it if I gotta go upstairs.
That'd be like me going, I think they're going to show off Death Stranding 2's release date. And then I just go marching off willy-nilly out in the snow. And I go back and go, hey, did they do it? That doesn't count. It doesn't count for nothing. Come on now.
This wasn't my fault. I predicted it. It's on record. Everybody heard it. So I did good this year. I felt good. I felt good about this year. I hope maybe next year I take that same energy into this because I feel like in years past I keep letting my heart decide too much and then I lose. But you know what? This year I did a good job of going, nope, Eric, stop. Except for like 1 or 2. I went, nope. That's not it. Stop it. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. A lot of good picks this year. A lot of good stuff happening. And that Onimusha, boy, I'll just start with that since I'm already talking about it. So pumped up. Can't wait. Played Onimusha 1, played Onimusha 2. I never did play the others, so I guess you could call me a fake fan, 3 and 4. But I got into World of Warcraft, so like a lot of my gaming life in that area is like kind of dead and null because for a while I did nothing but play that game. So, it sucks. I wish I had played those, and I'm not the type of gamer to go back to like super old games, so I'm not going to say I'm going to go back to them, but I can't wait to get this new Onimusha. I hope it's going to tell a new tale because it's a whole new character, so I'm not, worried about that, but I hope it fills you in if it does relate in on Onimusha, the past ones, and how it's all working out. It's looking good, and I don't want to be a Souls-like either, so I got my fingers crossed. We'll see. I'm hoping for a lot of things here. There's a lot of buttons that need to be pushed to make this really, really awesome instead of just pretty cool. But excited.
And I hope for that for you too. But when I saw that trailer, I had a feeling Capcom haven't dipped their toes in the Souls-like genre at all. Monster Hunter Wilds, you could sort of say, is sort of like Monster Hunter big bosses, tough stuff.
Sort of, but it's different. Yeah.
But I went, hey, here's a dark story, undead people. It could be, hopefully not for you, but I'm going to start off with another one. This is just a Matt thing, and I don't have much to say about it. But Slay the Spire 2, that was shown off. I haven't actually seen any of it before, shown off in the pre-show. It looks great. Like there's 2 different classes and 2 classes that are coming back from the previous game. But looking at it, I got excited. But I just wanted more. Like I wanted different effects. I wanted a different art style for some reason. Maybe because my brain is thinking of like Darkest Dungeon versus Darkest Dungeon 2. It's kind of a jump, even though I never played a lot of the first one. I wanted like a big jump. And this seemed kind of more like, here's a little tiny hop. It's a hop to the side, but it still looked cool. And then another one for me, I'll just say it real quick. The Untitled Next project from the development team behind Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. That was the one where it was like a dark, destroyed world. You climb up this giant robot, and then a giant wave of doom sweeps away, and you fly the head away. I mean, those guys make good games. I usually don't finish them, but I enjoy them a lot, and they're artistic, and they look really cool. So I'll definitely get that and play that, whatever that ends up being. Looks cool.
It did look cool. I have no doubt that it will be. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Well, we've talked in the past about Eco, Shadow of the Colossus, and stuff. I seem to never, like you, I never finish these games. I think I did finish Eco, but it could be a false memory. I don't trust myself anymore. But I don't know. I think that's one I'll kind of hold back on a little bit, but it did look cool. I love the concept. I love you once again getting on top of ginormous things and doing what you typically do in these games. So props to that trailer. It was a lot of fun. And before we get any further, man, I just want to make sure we bring up Borderlands 4.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They had a brand new trailer showcasing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. The new Vault Hunters, the new baddies, the new psychos, and how everything. It didn't really show like how it's all coming together, but it did look like it showed the new antagonists, etc. So, what did you think?
I thought that was kind of the coolest part of the trailer, was starting off with, you would think, like just from the Borderlands story, when you see what looks like Iridians on one side and psychos on the other, that you're on the psycho side.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it was shot, the way it looked like we're forcefully putting these mechanical things onto people and making them crazy. Are you against both sides? Are you freeing this whole, the towns and the whole world? I like that idea. Like you're not a crazy idiot, and you're not like, supporting the strict control of the military aliens or whatever. I like the idea of just like, both these sides are bad. We're going to make it right. In theory, maybe that's not what it is, but that's how it felt, because you seeing them come together from both sides from that spot where I'm making hand gestures nobody can see, but Eric knows what I mean.
Yeah. And I put it in the Discord, and I'll say it again. I think that's what this game's going to be providing. I think we're going to have several NPC factions warring out here, and we're going to be in the fray of it doing what we think is right. So we're going to be sometimes siding with one, sometimes siding with the other, killing all of them, doing all sorts of wild, crazy Borderlands shenanigans. And of course, they had, like you said, the Iridium side of things with their warlord kind of standing back there. They had the psychos with the weird spider thing, whatever going on. And then you had this complete, utter, who knows who this character is. And behind the Borderlands symbol, getting all powered up and jacked up and going crazy. We have no idea what their relationship is to any of this. Probably another baddie, probably with a whole new agenda. So there might be like 3 different factions going on here. And then you, the Vault Hunters, coming in and doing what you got to do to make things work. That sounds very exciting to me. And of course, once again, the Discord, they didn't talk about on the actual reveal, well, wouldn't talked about it, but showcase like the open world stuff. And I remember hearing about it, but I hadn't seen anything in a while. So I was wondering, I'm like, well, if it's open world and this is going on, that's going to be crazy cool. Well, then Matt goes, hey, they just posted this whole shtick on it. And yes, earlier, Randy did talk about it. And it is a thing. They are making it open world. So you're going to seamlessly be going from place to place with all this stuff potentially happening. There's a lot of promise. And then on top of it, Sam Winkler came out and he goes, hey, we've heard you. You guys are kind of getting tired of potty humor, things like that. I'm in here. I'm making sure that we tone it down. We change the way the humor's given to you. We change what we're doing and talking about. So if I hear, and he said zibbity bibbity bub or whatever the catchphrase is.
The skibbity toilet or whatever.
Yeah. He says, if I hear anything like that, I'll kill myself. He didn't say that, but he said something to that effect. So I was very excited to hear that because you've heard us talk about like the newest, latest game that we don't talk about anymore and how the writing was for it. And I don't want that to be the way this goes. So I'm crossing my fingers that they've tuned in and we're going to move in a new direction and get back to some just good Borderlands action with some cool Vault Hunters, which, by the way, the Vault Hunters were showcased, but they didn't tell you, who was who and what was what. You can make guesses based off their appearance and, stature, etc., but we don't really know. But I'll say at the end of the day, they looked cool. Everything did look cool and vibrant. They looked a little, they looked like Vault Hunters, I guess, and that's good because you want to look like Vault Hunters, but on the same side, I'm like, all right, they just look like 4 new Vault Hunters, the same kind of thing going on.
I feel like nobody had like the big standout. Like Flack always drew my eye, like from the beginning. What's this robot dude doing? What's going on? They haven't showed off skills or anything, or which one is the pet class. They haven't showed any of that stuff off.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like I'm going up and down. Like when I first saw it, I was hyped. I was just in it. I was hyped. Then later I watched it again and it didn't really hit. Now that we're talking about it and I'm imagining it in my mind's eye and the possibilities of what cool stuff could happen, I'm coming back around. I don't know. It hasn't shown off enough to know one way or the other, but
to be for sure, yeah.
I'd say I'm cautiously optimistic. I've gone from cautiously pessimistic back to cautiously optimistic. I'm going to play it no matter what. I mean, it's going to happen. Of course. That's what we do.
We've stated on the show a million times that no matter what, we're going to play it. We did say if this one turns out very poorly, it'll probably be the last one. But I just don't think they're going to do that. I can't imagine they treat their golden nugget like that. They're gonna bring the heat, and I hope they provide a fantastic game. And of course, you saw the loot, so we know we're getting tons of loot again. You're going to get the Borderlands experience in that regard. And lastly on it, you're getting the new vehicles, which are going to allow you to traverse that open world with ease, which is really cool. Hopefully they control better than the old vehicles did, and we don't have all the maniacal moments we did while drinking tons of beers and traversing Pandora back in the day. It remains to be seen.
Now, 2 reveals here. I'm going back to the big list. 2, I only wrote one word in all caps. First one, it's very near and dear to my heart. The Outer Worlds 2. I just wrote yes. Capital YES. I love the first game. I'm going to love the second game. The trailer was great, making fun of themselves. Like, oh, it's 3 times as big, but took 14 times longer to make. Blah, 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 blah. They do great trailers. It was a great trailer. I can't wait to get back in that universe and have a lot of fun. And then the one that I have listed right after that, Split Fiction. I wrote the word SIS. I wrote the word sis in all caps because it's 2 co-op lady characters having wacky co-op times in a Joseph Ferris game, jumping between sci-fi and fantasy and dramatic stuff. And it just looks like a lot of fun. And it makes me want to go back and finish It Takes Two with my buddy Eric, or maybe a bot. Maybe they put bots back in because we'll never be able to figure out those puzzles. But this got me excited again.
We can figure out the damn puzzles. We can do it. It can happen. We can make it work. And this one looks amazing too. The only thing I'm going to do different is if we do actually finally start playing games and doing our shtick again, I'm buying that one as well because it sucks when Matt's going, oh, sweet, just got a trophy. Oh, sweet, just popped a silver. Oh, sweet. And I'm just like, oh, I ain't getting nothing. Nothing for me in this. Oh, man.
And I agree with you because that was me in Wolfenstein. Because you'd be like, oh, trophy for that, trophy for this. And I'm like, I probably should have got a trophy because I just upgraded my weapon and customized everything. Oh, well. And then we did go through like half a second run, so I did start getting that.
I'll finish that run. I never wanted to quit that run.
I agree with you.
Just saying. It was a good time, and Joseph's game looks like a freaking fantastic time. I'm on board with you. And I'll tell you this real quick. Outer Worlds 2, I'm so sold. I want to play the other one, the first one. I own it, and I want to play it so bad. I watched you play a whole bunch while you were streaming it and whatnot. I loved it then. I kept saying I was going to play it, never got to it, but I watched everybody's getting hyped for Outer Worlds 2, so I've been seeing streams again, and I just want to get in there and experience it for myself and make my own decisions and, say what I want to say and have a good time with it. And everybody keeps reminding me that it's a short game. It's not super long, so I can actually pile drive through this one in a few weeks and put it off the finish list instead of like most games I pick up these days, 100+ hours.
And I've heard that one of the 2, I think it's only got 2 DLCs. One of them is really, really good. I think the first one is it's kind of more of the same, but the second one is like the murder mystery at the big resort and all kinds of wacky dialogue choices and fun stuff you can do. I still haven't played that. I got to go back and play that. But Yeah, I'm excited for this. Whenever it comes out, that's instant day one, and that's what I'm playing for the next foreseeable future.
And then I got a hype moment. Got hype. All of a sudden, I see feet running through a forest. Jungle, more likely. I saw an axe, and I already knew. I went, oh, this is it. There's no way. No way, but it's it. I 100%, this is it. I've played too many of these games to know. Turok is returning as a co-op freaking action game. It is ditching the first person, so I'm nervous on this point because Turok's always been a first person game. That's what I've played as for all the different Turoks I've played over the years, way back when Acclaim was doing them. This one is a third person co-op game, which has potential. This is another I could play with Matt, or if Matt don't like it, maybe Shay picks it up. This has the potential to play with some friends and take down dinosaurs and, of course, aliens that want to destroy the entire universe. Because if you don't know, guess what? Turok's all about aliens and dinosaurs, and the aliens want to destroy everything. Dinosaurs just want to eat stuff, end up getting manipulated by you, humans, and the aliens. So you're doing dinosaur on dinosaur fighting action. You're doing all sorts of crazy. Some dinosaurs get like mech arms and do all sorts of weird stuff. It's the whole shtick. Some humans are riding on dinosaurs and whipping them like horses and using them. And you're out there with your axe and your guns, and you're just killing everything and everybody. This time you're going to do it with friends. I'd like to see how they set that up. I hope there's bots so you can play it solo too, in case I have no friends, which is also very, very possible. But I want to have a good time in this. I'm going to cross my fingers for now and hope for the best. If you want to check this out, I highly encourage you to. Turok Origins, the official reveal trailer, it's out there. It's looking cool. I know an old homie who used to listen to the show, loved the Turok comics. So if he's listening, you know what to do. Check it out.
Now, I was going to segue into something else, but I'll leave that for you to talk about if you want to. And I'll say that's an Eric game. 100% an Eric from the past, blasting it out. Capcom didn't just end it with Onimusha, though.
No, they didn't.
Because they almost closed out the show with a game from my past that I've bought like 4 or 5 times over, and I've still never actually fully beaten. But Okami is coming back with a sequel. Clover's Studio instead of the original Clover Studio coming back. This is the part where I was like, next year we need to stream this, because I marked out when I saw it. Okami sequel. I thought maybe it was like a half C, like remastered for Nintendo Switch or PS5 or something. But a full-on Okami sequel. I loved that original game. Like I said, I still have never beaten it, but it was just one of those games that it was a lot longer than you would think it was, and then I would get distracted by this or that or the other thing. So more in that world, more awesome drawing powers, especially if it's on something like the Switch or something where you can motionally draw stuff, because that was the whole gimmick, especially when you played it on the Wii. Just whoop, you draw it, and you would make it happen. A great game. I can't wait to see what they do with it. Obviously, this is going to be like 10 years from now, it'll finally actually launch. But for a trailer that showed almost nothing and promised almost nothing, I was still blown away. It made my day at the end of the show there.
Now, I'm going to tack this on a little bit. All right. I was excited as well. I didn't play the first one, but I heard great things all the time about it. So I feel like this is my chance to come in and experience that whole world. But that's not all, man. Because after all this was all said and done, Capcom came out, and the president and all the big dogs, they said, we've been real successful lately. We're doing great. We're doing great things. The gamers, they love us. We appreciate you and love you all. And we've revived several titles at this point in time, and they've all done fantastically, and you've respected us and our titles, etc. And they said, you know what we're doing?
No.
They did. No, they did. Don't even.
You're a liar.
Don't
lie to
it.
me.
They
you're
did it. They said.
You're a liar.
They said. And that's not all reviving. We've got several other old entities that we haven't touched in a long time that we're going to be doing stuff with and coming back in some way, shape, form, or another. So guess what? There's hope. It hasn't been specified entirely, but there's hope. Obviously, Mega Man's one of them. There's no doubt Mega Man's going to come back in some way.
Okay, fair, yeah.
But I looked at it, and I was like, well, what else could there be?
Lost Planet. It's Lost Planet.
No, it's not Lost Planet. Lost Planet had its time. It didn't do it. What's doing gangbusters in the last few years? We talked about this. It's RPGs. Gangbusters. They're making millions out there right now. They're bringing in. I can promise you, especially since the dynamic gameplay has, with how you can change over to the dragons and do all sorts of different cool stuff with it. It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. You got no brain if you think that's actually going to happen. Bam! And I also bleeped out the name anyway, so latecomers to the show won't even know what you're talking about. Woo!
Hurts my soul. But that's there. So I got excited about that. I got excited about the games, but I did get more excited about that post comment from the execs over there, because that shows there's hope for me yet. But I'll tell you one that at one point got me excited, but very much disappointed me as well. That was Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I love me a kart racing game. Crash Bandicoot, fantastic. Obviously, Mario Kart's fantastic. And, I haven't played Sonic Racing, the previous entities of this. But this one has so much promise, Matt, because, of course, they're going to have learned from, the ones that have done it right. And I heard Sonic was actually pretty good back in the day, so it's not like they did it wrong, but you know what I mean. You've seen the greats. You've seen what works, what doesn't work. But now, with Sega being the way they are, they're not just going to go Sonic and Friends. So you will get Sonic and all of his doofy friends, but damn well they're going to have Persona characters in here racing. They're going to have Yakuza stuff going. They're all Ichiban, will be inside of a kart racer, having a blast, and that excites me. That gets me revved up and rocking and rolling, ready to race my wonderful kart. But they didn't show anything. They showed nothing. They went, "Ooh, here's a kart," and then they went, "Sonic." And I went, "You guys, this is ridiculous. Stop this. Stop it. You weren't ready to show us. Just hold on to it."
One that I thought maybe they should have held on to a little bit longer was the Project Century trailer. That's the bloody brawler from the RGG studio guys. Maybe it was just my end, but the trailer looked like it had bad frame rate. It was looking kind of weird. Now, I play pretty much everything RGG does. It usually always comes out with a really awesome layer of polish on it. I feel like the trailer was it was kind of a weird trailer. It didn't look great. It didn't seem to run great. Maybe it just needs more time in the oven, but hey, they had to announce the next project because they just have projects willy-nilly all over, shooting, shotgunning all over the place. But even if that one didn't hit, another trailer from the pre-show did hit. I texted you about it, and I said, what the F is this? What is Shadow Labyrinth? The horror Pac-Man Metroidvania. Ooh, it looks crazy. It looks nuts. But what's going on with it? I'm 100% going to play this. I can't imagine a Pac-Man game that looks like this, but now here it is. That's what that is.
And from what I hear, if you go watch the Secret Levels Pac-Man show, it alludes to this all. It's going to give you the kind of in on what's going on in this particular world and what they're going for this Metroidvania coming out. I, too, was really pumped about this. It looked unique. It looked weird. And it was something completely different for Pac-Man himself, which was super cool. So I can't wait now to go watch the Secret Levels, which I don't know why I haven't done that yet. I don't know, it just kind of went over my head. So I'm definitely this weekend going to go check those out. And then I will know more about why the hell this Dark World has, what's his name? What's Pac-Man's name? He's got a name.
Oh, I missed
Chomp.
it. I missed it if it was there.
Chomp. I don't know. I'm a fake gamer. Who cares? Anyways, you're going to see what he's all about and what's going on. So go watch the Secret Levels and then come back and rewatch the Shadow Labyrinth, because that was looking pretty cool to me. And of course, in that pre-show, Matt, there was one that got me going. The Ninja Gaiden, was it Ragebound?
Ragebound, yep.
Yes. Can't wait. That's old school right there. I grew up playing some Ninja Gaidens and getting my ass kicked, never beating them, but still having lots of fun with them. And this looks like it's going to be more of the same. It's going to have the really cool hand-drawn, animations going in there. You saw it for yourself if you watched the trailer. And then it goes into that really cool old school view where you get to see the entire screen and where you're going to go, where you need to go. Enemies up on the level above you, just sitting there dinking around until you finagle your way up there. It's got all the old school vibes, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. All nice, awesome pixel art happening. Music was rocking and rolling. I can't wait. Super excited for this one.
And hard shift away from action and jumping in old school time to a completely narrative, telltale style, adventure-y, sort of just a narrative game, and that was Dispatch. And they already sold me because they brought out Laura Bailey and some actor guy, and they did a great back and forth segment. And Laura Bailey is just the best. She was the voice of the Saints, so anytime I hear her voice, it just brings back happy memories. And this is a narrative adventure game about a former superhero, a guy who had a mech suit. His mech suit gets broken. What use is a former superhero? They hire him in to this dispatch-like call center where it's like, a disaster's going on. Dispatch out the heroes. And it just looks like a funny, wacky, maybe kind of like The Office, but just a wacky narrative adventure game. And you're picking different responses for all these crazy, wacky superheroes coming through. It just looked like fun. And, Laura Bailey's in it, so it's going to sound really awesome. It put me in the mind of Stray Gods, the role-playing musical that I just finished off. A narrative adventure game with Laura Bailey in it. Wow, spoon me up another helping because Dispatch looks good to me.
Well, I was looking at this list, Matt, and that one, I remember watching that one, but I got to go check that one out again because when you're talking about it, I'm like, yeah, I remember something about superheroes, and it was kind of like a more like just day-to-day thing going on or something.
Yeah.
So I'll give that one another watch since it's from the old school Tales peeps, but I can't speak to that one. I must have been zoned out or doing something. Who knows? There's only two more right now that are really speaking to me, and so I'll just go with one of them, which is The Witcher 4. There's the big reveal. That was the huge, one of the huge ones. And let me tell you, I got so excited, so happy. Ciri is going to be your brand new main. And Geralt, of course, they hinted if you watch the trailer, is going to be in it too at some point, somewhere. They don't want to reveal how or why or where. So it's a surprise that we'll get when we play. But seeing her older now, a little bit more grizzled, a little more worldly, coming in to help out, and then just how things turn out and how it all goes. I thought that trailer was fantastic. The fight with the creature in the gorge or whatever, awesome. The way she was dipping into the Witcher magic and whatnot, and that's a whole thing because she was gonna have trouble with it apparently when having it. So it's a whole storyline, and it was all vibing and feeling good. I really enjoyed it. I got into it. I never even beat Witcher 3, but I did play a lot of it. So hey, this is one I played a lot of but didn't finish. So it's like, I'll still count myself a Witcher fan on this one. I didn't go in for like 10 hours or nothing. It was most 3/4 of the way through I got through it. And so I'm sad. I wish I could have finished that, and maybe I still can. I own it. It's obviously literally sitting right there. I can look right at it. So maybe that's what I do is in the dead months when I don't have a job or something coming up, who knows, I can just play some old school Witcher 3 and finish the deal.
And I did the point and smirk, not because I was going to bust your balls for not finishing it, but because I did finish it. I mean, there's a bunch of different endings, so this is not spoiling anything, and I'm not going into details anyway. As I recall, in my ending, Ciri left. Like she went to a different dimension or world or whatever. So she wasn't around to become a Witcher, to follow in Geralt's footsteps. So I was watching it, and I went, cool. And then the back part of my brain went, this isn't right. This is wrong. This is not right. And apparently, because I read up some after the fact too, people have been asking, hey, so did she take the trial of the grasses? Is she a Witcher now? How did that happen? What about all these other endings? What about this? What about that? What's the canon ending? And they said, they said it, so don't count it as a spoiler for me, but they went, yeah, we don't want to disrespect any endings out there, endings that are in the books, endings that anybody experienced in the games, but you'll see, we have a really clever way of doing that. So obviously you're playing like a different Ciri in a different world. So fine, cool, great. It just was a funny way to say it's just going to be alternate Ciri, because they didn't say that, but that's what we're going to respect everybody and everybody's endings, and you'll find it a really clever thing that we did.
Yeah.
So it's just she time jumped over and saw, oh, that you're Ciri, haha, bye, see you later.
Yeah, it's going to be some kind of meta series. Saw the other failed series or bad series and went, okay, here's the true path, and went for it.
But yeah, it still looks good. I loved The Witcher 3. I played through everything in it. I played through all the DLCs. I bought the card game packs and everything. So I'm excited. It just felt a little weird at the time. And that was one that I had on my list to talk about. So you took that away from me, other than Steel Hunters, which I was going to watch again, but I wrote down Big Mechs and Feels Like Titanfall. I don't remember anything else about it. The only other one I have left to talk about is Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. Just a cinematic trailer. No gameplay, no nothing. But I liked the feel of the trailer. If this was a movie, I would go see it 100%. Just because of the cinematography and the feel. Like when you had that static shot of the moon or whatever was destroyed with the planet in the background with the Trent Reznor music going. I was like, it just put me in that vibe of like sitting in a theater watching an A24 movie. It's like, boom. I went, yeah. And it had a couple spots, like when she signed off the call and she realized what she was going to do, and she sat back and went, whew. And then it cut to that opposite shot that she was looking at. I don't know, the style of it, I like it. It looks really cool. My only weird issue is all the product placement. It feels so weird. And I know, because I read up afterwards, it takes place like in an alternate 1980s where we do have space travel, so it does make sense. But anytime I see product placement in like a sci-fi movie, it takes me out a little bit. who knows if you'll see a bunch of it. I mean, obviously, you go down to a planet and fight robots with a laser sword, so you're probably not going to see like, oh, I'm going to drink a Diet Pepsi to regain my health. Check it out, y'all. That was the only thing that I didn't like in it. It was just, it seems weird just be like, hey, guys, look, an iPhone. Look, a Texaco Big Gulp. But other than that, I like the feel of it.
And that's crazy to me because I actually love that. I love product placement in like this sci-fi worlds that are supposed to be on Earth.
Okay.
Yeah. It brings me in because then I'm like, yeah. You guys still have Pepsi and Coke. You still have, Monster as in Death Stranding 2.
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
Or not Death Stranding 2, Death Stranding 1. Like for me, it brings me in because I'm like, I can relate. Like, okay, Porsche somehow made it to making spacecrafts. That's pretty neat. That's cool. I'd love to know how they did it and what their alternate reality is and how that thing got to where it is. So for me, that was exciting and fun. I love the Sony thing going there and everything else. I to love the intro, man. That little broken up moon or whatever it was, and then Trent Reznor and I'm forgetting the other name. The two people that are working on the soundtrack. Trent Reznor's one of them. That music just was utterly fantastic. Drew me right in. The main character for me looked totally fine. But as I gotta say, because the only part I didn't like was when she was sipping on that goddamn milkshake or whatever. I told Matt at work, it pissed me off. Like that smug look, like I'm ignoring you and you're gonna do what I want you to do, whatever. And even though I literally want to punch her in the face. Like I would want to punch somebody in real life in the face if they gave me that look doing that to me. And it made me want to punch her in the face. And as I talked to Matt, it was more of like, I'm annoyed by this, and I don't know if you want to do that. Do you want to make me punch the main character in the face? But then I thought about it a little bit. I went, well, that's a good damn job on their part with animation. If that's so realistic and so in that I'm like a real human getting upset or happy or sad about their looks and how they're conveying their emotions on the in the game, on the screen, whatever you want to say.
And I will say for that part, I mean, I know it's small, but the animation of her drinking that
was super cool.
It looked so good. Like I equate it to kissing scenes in games, and it always looks like absolute garbage. So when one is done well, that looks like actual humans, it's like, whoa, that was that. Her lips and everything moved just right. It sounds stupid to say that because of course it was, but we've seen it done so badly in a million other games that it was spot on. It was great.
And I enjoyed the whole like prattle around the whole shuttle. While she's talking and moving, and you're getting to see all the different things in the talking and the screens moving and everything else.
The old school really anime cool. Playing on her CRT.
Oh,
there.
That was super cool. The pan over to the anime going and whatnot. I mean, so much was really cool about it. Like I said, the only thing I didn't like was that damn milkshake. I hope she isn't a complete a-hole. I really hope there's a lot of redeeming factors to her, and you're going to grow to love her, and it's going to be great. That's the only thing is and I'm just cautious because Naughty Dog shows a lot of characters who are just bad. They're not good people. They're not great in any way, shape, or form. We talked about it before. I hate The Last of Us. I don't like The Last of Us 2. Those are all bad people who make very stupid and poor decisions. And I don't want this to be the case with this one. I don't want her to be that, making poor decisions, doing stupid shit that makes me mad, and then I can't enjoy the game.
I feel like they have to have learned from Last of Us 2. Like, it's obviously she's going down to the planet for revenge of some sort. But they just told a revenge story like 4 times in Last of Us 2 or 3 times or however many it was where you go back and forth, back and forth, back. We all realize revenge is wrong, but we keep doing it anyway. This has to be the one where she goes, realizes it's wrong, tries to fix something, and becomes a good character by the end. And maybe she's not even going down there just to like revenge murder, but maybe she's going down to find out something. I don't know. But it can't be that story again. It has to be that story told correctly, the right way.
I hope so too. And that's why I'm as we always say, cautiously optimistic because it looked fantastic. I just worry because they do have a lot of very non-likable characters in a lot of their stories. So here's the hope, and this one's a change in the pace because I want to play it. I want to be part of the zeitgeist for, one of these big Naughty Dog titles, and I'm always on the outside going, yeah, poo-poo on your cap. And everyone just throws bottles at me and tells me to shut up, and I'm like, oh, whatever. I'll go into my corner and whine about it. Leave me alone.
So that was it for me. I think that was it for you.
Oh, that was it game-wise. The only last closing statement on the Game Awards itself I did want to make was, did you think Astrobot was the game of the year? Were you happy? Just, it don't even have to be that one. Were you overall happy with the awards? Like who got what? Were there any disappointments or any big spots where you're super excited and threw your hand up.
I feel like there was at least one award where I was like, hell yeah, but I can't remember what it was. There were definitely no awards where I went, that's stupid. Because I feel like it was a strong category of nominees, like all across the board. And like I said, I haven't played a ton of Astrobot, but the stuff that I did play, it just made me smile the whole time. So you know what? If it's 20 hours of me having a blast, and I've seen that as other people's game of the year, like not just on their list, but as number one. So you know what? If it made people smile and made people love it, maybe it is game of the year. I mean, it let me win, so it made me smile all over again.
You didn't win.
You did. Dude, don't lie to the people. I'm telling you. What about you? Anything else that
history?
Anything else that made you flip the table or pump your fist?
And that's the crazy part, man. I had enjoyed the show all the way through. I was loving where the awards were going. I was fine with everything. The only beef I did have was with the game of the year itself. That was the only spot where I really went sour at. I loved, I forget his name, Timasobi's head, the speech he gave. Fantastic. I really love that. We wanted to create a game that was going to be the first game for kids, and then that instantly brought me back to Mario, and then later Mario 2, Mario 3, etc. Those are in my core memories of gaming. That's what got me there. And that's what Astrobot gets to be for so many. And I loved the whole thing. It just really resonated with me, really felt good. And on that end, I was very happy for Astrobot winning awards and doing what it did. But it's just, and that's why I swore I'm going to go play it and finish it, because I'm like, maybe I'm missing something. But man, it's a great game. It is fun. There's no doubt about it. But it's going up against juggernauts, especially in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That game is just phenomenal. And I'm like, I can't see even in my brain that Astrobot's better than that game by even a stretch of the imagination. And so that one it soured me. I'm getting over it and I'm getting past it. It's a Game Award. It's no big deal. But it just, at that moment, I'm like, this doesn't square up to me. This is not, these two things are not equal.
And you mentioned the acceptance speech for the Timasobi guy. I wrote down a note for one acceptance speech, and I haven't gone back and watched it again, but it was for the Balatro guy. When he wasn't there to accept his award, or he was, but he was in the audience, and he wanted other people to accept it on his behalf. But I love that the speech they had those two people give, and it was real short. He said he wanted to show all his love and all his thanks to everyone else who was nominated in that category, and thank them for putting out such amazing things and, inspiring other people to create amazing works. But it wasn't even about himself at all. It was thanks to everybody and the whole indie game community and all these amazing creators that you don't ever see or hear about. For an indie winner to just be like, hey, show love to all these other people too, not just me. Look at all the rest of the stuff going on. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I want to go watch the speeches again too, because now you say that I recall all that. And Sam Lake also at the time had a really good narrative with the narrative awards and everything. I want to hear that again. So I want to go watch the speeches and the talks again, because I feel like almost all of them hit, and they hit pretty good. So definitely check it out. It was a great time overall for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So what about you out there in podcast listener land? What else did we miss? What else were you excited about? And do you have the answer to Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner for this week? As you remember, last week's question was, Eddie Riggs, the protagonist of the 2009 game Brutal Legend, is voiced by which actor and comedian? That was Jack Black, of course. And now the final question for this card. How many rows of aliens appear in a wave of space invaders? That's rows, not columns. Rows.
3? Oh, man. And see, I thought it was the opposite. That's why I said 3. I thought it was 3, and or do I have it wrong? I do have it.
You're backwards now.
No, I'm backwards. I would have had it.
You
right.
would have had
stupid.
it. Oh, my
I'm
God.
so stupid. I was sitting there going, I was like, it's this way and 3 this way.
Yeah. And I
If
tried
I'd
to help
known
you and
what
say
my
not
words
columns,
were, I'd have had it right.
rows.
God, I'm stupid. I hate
I should have
myself.
done this.
You should have, because I'm an idiot and I get rows and columns mixed up. They don't teach me things in school. Oh, well. I hate myself. That's fine.
So what about you out there in podcast listener land? Do you know the answer, or are you mixed up in the head like my good friend Eric? Not in a bad way. I'm just saying it's easy to mix those things up. Let me know that, or any kind of questions, comments, concerns, mailbag questions, which we still haven't gotten to. They'll probably have to wait for the New Year's episode, maybe, because the next episode, I don't do this part in the show. It's coming up next week on the 26th. On or around the 26th is the Game of the Year, Third Shift Game of the Year special. So that won't be no weeks, no releases, no mailbags, maybe a trivia question if I can squeeze it in there. But it's just going to be us celebrating our games of the year and you celebrating your games of the year. If you want to send that to us before, I'll just say before Christmas Day, get it to us on the Discord, the email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com. On the Twitter machine, you probably can't make that big of a list on the Twitter machine, but at ThirdShiftME, put it on Facebook. Eric will have to tell me about it. Put it on the Discord. Put it in the Patreon. Put it in a little letter. Slip it under my door. There's a big old crack in the door. There's a big old draft that comes through. Slip your letter in there. It's fine. You can do it.
You can do all those things, or you can support us on the old Patreon. Throw a buck our way. Merry Christmas to us. Woo! Money in the bank. Money over there. Keeping the lights on. Bills paid. You know how it goes. You know what we do. But you know what? Money might be tight. Them kids, they want them big, expensive gifts. I get it. You can't do that right now. But you can go give us 5-star reviews. You can go over on that wonderful Twitch and give us money over there via the Prime memberships, all that good stuff. All the ways. You can go to Discord, talk to us over there. You can give us mailbag questions. You can support us in this and that and this and that and every other way. Matt, I'm telling you, we got to have a 5-star review by now. It's got to have happened. Matt's going to find out. It's got to be true. We had a special guest earlier in the show. And, you know, I feel like he did a fantastic job of really getting us going, really getting the Christmas spirit up and going and just, oh, man, I know you're all in the mood. You want to make sure our Christmas is bright. And I got this broken star, all right? Broken star on my Christmas tree that needs to be bright and light. And I need you to do this for me, okay? Come on, man.
Unless it just hasn't popped yet, I don't see it. Did you?
Oh, my God. Oh. Dang it, Matt! There's a what are you looking at? Apple Music? I mean, Apple Podcast, right?
I'm looking at Apple Podcasts. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
man.
it might take a minute to come through. I don't know how long it takes. It might need approval to make sure nobody put in a swear word or something, or nobody drew a wiener in ASCII art or something.
That's possible. Well, you know what? I guess we'll wait till next week. Well, so we don't get a Merry Christmas. You know, but we'll maybe get a Happy New Year. Maybe that'll be the case.
And speaking of Christmas, hey, if you guys celebrate Christmas out there, Merry Christmas to you, because we won't see you until afterwards. If you don't celebrate Christmas, Merry whatever you celebrate to you. If you don't celebrate anything, Merry week. Have a great time.
Yep, have a good time.
Like I always say, whatever you celebrate, happy that to you. If you don't celebrate anything, spend some time with family. If you don't like your family, spend some time with friends. If you don't have any friends, do something nice for yourself. Just treat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's not a holiday for you, do something nice for yourself over this week. Do something nice for people around you. Be a good person, for God's sakes. Just drop a 5-star in there. Do something good.
That's right. Do something good for somebody, for goodness sakes. And, of course, happy holidays, all the good stuff to everyone out there. Y'all are the best. We thank you so much. And you know what? Another thing you could do, I never even mentioned this. Hey, go tell a buddy about the show. You know, go say, hey, force them to listen. And then, you know, if they don't like it, they don't like it. But you know what? Do that. That's how you could win. That doesn't cost you anything except for, you know, your buddy saying you suck and your tastes suck. And then you're like, whatever, dude. And it's over. It's fine.
And where they can find that episode is going to be on iTunes, not on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. And as I always say, hey, if you like what we're doing, like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, review, comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of them good services, because it does help us out. And we really do appreciate it.
Indeed, we do. We appreciate all of it, just like we appreciate all the reviews, all the fun, all the discussions we've had, all these years, all these times. It's great. And we can't wait to hear from you some more this week, next week, and all the weeks ahead.
I'm closing and reloading the app. Please sync up. Please let me be able to.
Please sync up with the magic. You know, is the magic of Christmas with us? It probably isn't going to be, because it's us. It's me and Matt. It's Third Shift. And you know what? The spirit of Christmas, they got beef with me. Have I ruined things a time or two? Perhaps. You just heard I'm an elf. I'm friends with an elf.
It's probably going to show up like right after I post the show. So I won't even have the time to be like, and hey guys, Speak for the Future, check it out. It was actually up. Oh, here I get to read it. It'll be gone. It'll be up and in the ether, and it'll go bloop. And I'll go, God, Jesus, come on now.
Stupid idiotic things. God bless him. That's okay. That's okay.
But until next time, when it's going to be, again, Game of the Year time, there's nothing else to say but... Don't forget to say ho, 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 ho.
Shut up and sit down.
Merry holiday things.